everybody. I got 9 o'clock this morning. We'll say collective prayer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning with humble hearts as we look to do county's business again this morning, dear Lord. We thank you for the sunshine that warms our hearts. We thank you for the blessings you continue to pour out upon our community, upon each and every one of us here, dear Lord. We ask that you continue to be with this proceedings. Help us to make wise decisions, dear Lord, that we just glorify and honor you. We just praise you and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Good morning, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. Look for approval of the signing of the claims and minutes from last month's meeting.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Next on our agenda this morning is the Association of Indiana Counties, Ryan Hoff. We got a scholarship presentation we're going to do this morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan
morning.
Hoff. I'm the General Counsel to the Association of Indiana Counties, here to present our annual college scholarship sponsored by AIC and Nationwide Retirement Solutions. This scholarship is annually presented to children or grandchildren of county employees based on community involvement, leadership, and worthy goals. This year's winner is Ashley Irwin, who is the daughter of Joe and Amy Irwin. Amy is the Kosciuszko County Ordinance Administrator. AIC's scholarship committee was duly impressed with Ashley's community involvement and educational attainment and her plans to continue serving the community as a nurse. I would now like to introduce Kevin Mitchell from Nationwide Retirement Solutions to present this scholarship award.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to join today. We're certainly valuing our partnership with you and your employees for your 457 deferred compensation provider. Ashley, you want to step forward? Congratulations so much on this award, and good luck with your studies throughout at IUPU Fort Wayne.
Thank you.
There you go. Can we get a picture with the commissioners, please? Where do you want to stand, Ryan?
Wherever you
Come around here.
Ryan, let somebody else take it. Don't let- Brian. Jump in.
Okay, sorry. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'll let you.
Okay, next on our agenda this morning is CABS. Got Chad here, talk about some capital equipment. Good morning.
Morning.
I have that, and I actually have our quarterly claim as well. I just wasn't sure we would get the signature page in time, so.
Okay.
But you should have the information on that. So for the capital equipment, we're requesting $4,521. 20% of that is local match, and 80% is of the grant. And for the quarterly claim, that represents $148,922 in federal funds. There's no PMTF or state funds to claim.
Okay,
Thank you.
so we pretty much burnt through all the CARES Act money, and we're back to normal now, pretty much?
Right. Last I knew, they were going to pull it all back into a pot and redistribute it
Okay.
evenly to everybody, but we're
And-
not sure where they're at with
And then
that.
the capital claim is, what's that going to be used for?
That was office equipment, and so office chairs, desks, and a new welder for our mechanic.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Any other questions, gentlemen? Look for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Chad.
welcome. Keep up the good work.
Okay, next on our agenda this morning is redevelopment commission. Kedco, Alan, got some things for us?
Morning, Alan.
Good morning. Alan and company.
We're just supporting you, sir.
All right, I brought a team. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Dan.
All right, hey, at the last meeting, I did share that I would be coming back with some proposals for how to utilize the KEDCO Special Projects Funds that's been approved in the CDIP budget. And so first up, I have a proposal request on behalf of the County Redevelopment Commission for $25,000 to put toward our efforts to investigate the South Shore Village area outside of Syracuse, about 2 miles outside of Syracuse, for development. The county had already put some dollars toward our housing initiative to support some of this kind of pre-development funding. So our request is for an additional $25,000 that we could put towards really looking into investigating, creating a TIF area, whether it makes sense to do that and whether it would support some of the development, the infrastructure development in that area for the housing and other uses for the South Shore project. Again, the idea would be we utilize the dollars, and similar to the other dollars we have, once the project moves forward, we recoup the dollars to then put toward another project. So it does create a revolving fund, limited to these kind of pre-development activities like whether to create a TIF area, doing that research. And the commission did accept a proposal from Baker Tilly to conduct the work. And then I think I had a recommendation or thumbs up from county council last week as well to support this request. So,
County council was, of course, pending commissioner approval.
Yeah. No problem.
And this is money that's already earmarked, if you will. It's not anything outside. And do you think
Correct.
it, I mean, it's just my question. Do you think it's 25,000 seems steep to just determine if you need that or not?
We don't actually think we will need the entire sum. What we didn't want to do is say, okay, we think we can do this for 15, and then we end up 17,500 or something, and have to come back before you to ask for a little bit more. So we went a little high, but we won't use any more than we have to. But we do have estimates from Baker Tilly and the redevelopment commission attorney, and we think it'll come in more like 15,000. So if you only you're comfortable with 15, that's fine, but we may have to come back. So it's up to you. Did you want to say something, Michelle?
Unless you have to end up doing a bond for the TIF district, then it'll be a whole
Yep.
different project.
Right, but each step of the project, we would come before you, before any other dollars are spent beyond that 25,000, if you agree to that. But there is a bond issue, possibly, we don't know. It just depends. We want to apply, we want them to examine whether or not a TIF district for housing makes sense for South Shore villages, because if we do a housing, then we can add the commercial. We can't do it in reverse. If we do commercial, we cannot add housing.
Right.
And there is a need for workforce housing, and that is a plan of the two partners of South Shore Villages to do a workforce housing. I have to keep changing that word from affordable that we're all used to, but it's workforce housing. And then commercial, and then they have some goals of not-for-profit also. So we're just trying to stand alongside them and help to develop that property because it's quite a large undertaking.
Well, I think this is a property that's definitely prime for development, and trying to figure out the best use for that property is going to be key. And if we have the TIF district to be able to fund some of that infrastructure that's going to be needed to get that developed, I mean, I think that's going to be a key way to be able to do that.
Obviously, you understand it's taxpayers' dollar, just not ours. We could do that, no problem, but I agree. If you're frugal and you know and understand that what the potentials are there, I'd have no problem with supporting that.
So is that a motion?
That's a motion.
I'll second that.
So we got a motion and a second, and all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen.
Jan Orban, Vice President Redevelopment Commission. Dan Thystrup, new member of the Redevelopment Commission.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate your support.
Thank you.
I got two more things, real quick, super
You
quick.
go give us an
So-
update on the hitch and rail, what that was like?
When are you gonna be there next?
No, that's fine.
With county council members here, I do want to, of course, recognize the county council did approve an ordinance for the Coscaso County to continue in the Northeast Indiana Regional Development Authority. So that's an important development for our community to be able to participate in the READY program. We would not be able to participate in that program, but for the county continuing, and so thank you to county council for doing that. Also want to very, very briefly recognize a new KEDCO team member, Terry Sweeney, who's with us in a new role as a project director.
Morning, Terry.
We'll make a more of a formal introduction later, but I appreciate Terry joining. He joins us from our previous role leading the Downtown Lexington Partnership in Kentucky, and welcome Terry to the area, so thank you.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
thank you. Look forward to
Welcome.
meeting you, Terry. Next on our agenda, is there any other office holders this morning? These come from the in front of the commissioners? Okay, hearing none. Next, Ed, do you have anything this morning?
No public report.
Okay. County Administrator, Marcia?
Yes, about a week and a half ago, we had an emergency repair that was required in the jail kitchen. We had a cast iron pipe under the cement floor collapse, and we were having drain issues. It became quite extensive due to the location of this pipe. I contacted the commissioners to get emergency approval to move forward with the repair. This estimate now needs to be approved in the public meeting. It was for $123,454. The repair was completed in a week's time, and so we're back up and running. There could be additional areas. We have a vendor coming in to run cameras through the pipes in 2 different areas to see if there is any other possible damage that is coming up.
Very good.
Marcia, I'd just like to say, I know you put a lot of work into this. I know Carrie, you had a good amount of involvement too, so appreciate both you guys, because that was a mess. And that's something we've dealt with in the past with having to line those pipes and.
Yeah, it's
Is
about 10
someone
or
gonna-
15 years ago, we had one collapse, so we've got 2 different areas. We want to check to see if we've got something coming up in the future.
You know, pretty much the problem is the actual manufacturer of the pipe,
Sheet
which
pipe.
is now
Yeah.
out of business. When it was built, you know, the pipe actually splits right at the joint and rots out, so.
Yeah, the pipe put in by the lowest bidder is typically ends up doing that. So that's, I think, what we're dealing with. But I'd make a motion, we accept the emergency expenditure.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain from that vote. I had some involvement in that, so.
Very good.
Next, I have the Right Stuff software. This is our payroll software. This is not the entire contract. This is the annual licensing fee. It's $25,300. And I've just talked with Michelle about this, and her recommendation, there's an option for, to pay, 1 or a 3-year contract with this. And her recommendation was to go with the 3-year renewal.
And that's the 25-3.
Yes.
Okay. Make a motion, to accept our recommendation.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
That's all I have. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Marcia. County Auditor, Michelle?
Nothing today. Thank
Nothing
you.
today? Okay. Steve, County Highway.
Morning, Steve.
Morning. I have 2 things to bring before you today. The first one is going to be, we've got a request from the County of Wabash that we have an ordinance to put up a stop sign. Currently, it's a 3-way stop at 1300 South and 300 East. We would like to put an additional stop sign to make it a 4-way stop. Approval for that.
Okay. I know that intersection is kind of dangerous. If you're coming from the south, you come over a hill and there's this intersection. So, and you're working with Wabash County on that, I'd make a motion that we accept his request.
I would second that.
We got a motion and a second. All those approve signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries.
The other one is moving forward with the County Bridge Project 123. The LPA contract, or the LPA consultant contract for engineering. This would be between USI and Kosciuszko County.
And that 123 bridge location is,
It's going to be on Pearson Road, or it's on Packerton Road, just south of Pearson Road. So,
Okay. and then that, this would be construction year 2028?
2027 on this
27?
one.
Okay. Any questions, gentlemen?
Just serve notice on the community out there. That's a heavily traveled way, and in 2027, you got 5
Way to
years
go.
to get ready for that, because that's going to be a tremendous inconvenience,
Yeah.
so. Need a motion for that?
Yes.
Make that motion.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second then for approval of the contract for the bridge. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries.
Hey, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Keep up the good work, be safe.
Okay, next on the agenda is County Assessor Susan. Request for advertise. And Gail? Good morning.
Good morning. We're here today to request your approval to allow the assessor's office to advertise for bids to hire a vendor for our commercial industrial parcels.
Okay. I know you gave us the documentation on what you're looking to try and do, so I mean, any other questions, gentlemen?
No, I don't.
Motion, we'd go ahead and allow that.
Second.
So we got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank
Thank you, Susan. Okay, Bob. Good morning.
Morning, Bob.
Morning, Bob.
You should have received some documentation. Overall, the state of Indiana is trying to standardize their data format for sending information for victims' notification from the jail. We currently have a system, but as I understand it, all 92 counties are kind of doing different things, and they're trying to standardize the project. So they are proposing that, and they are saying that the state will pay for us to have our vendor, Central Square, rewrite the software to create the new format into their approved format. Central Square we are the customer of Central Square. They want us to sign going forward that we are in agreement with this and that we are, their instructors to proceed. The one concern I have is that the state is saying they're paying all costs, but the Central Square contract does say that in the event the state fails to follow through, that the county is under obligation to pay the cost. The costs are $10,160, one-time cost, and then there will be yearly maintenance costs of like 5 or 7% or something like that. So I just didn't want to sign the contract assuming the state was going to follow through without your approval and your understanding.
So make sure I'm understanding this. The state is mandating it, basically. And they're asking us to guarantee it.
Yeah, mandate has not been the term. They want to
Well, I'm
standardize the.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a nicer
so-
way to say it. So I.
Is that flowery language? Is that what you're talking? Flowery?
Yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, it's like.
Feel
They
good.
force us to do it and then they want us to guarantee it. I know on that.
But there's going to be some efficiency of how that software will then interface with the state system from our perspective?
From our perspective, is really not, we don't really care. We have an interface now that works. The state just wants to change that interface and then have all 92 counties adopt that, and they're willing to pay the cost to get there. So I think my opinion is there's very little risk here, but the way it's worded, I didn't feel that, I felt you guys needed to make that decision, so.
And it's not worded from the state that way. It's from.
It's from Central Square, our vendor.
From our vendor.
Yes. Apparently, they've been burned by other states in the past
Sure.
and other commitments that they've had, and so they have this line. And I asked them if they could remove it from their contract, and their legal team said no. So
Where is the, what's the commitment from the state as far as is any of that in writing or?
Yeah, in the papers that you received, there is a letter from the state in which they describe the project, and in several points, in underlying, they're saying the state is paying for all costs associated with these connections, including long-term maintenance costs. So,
So, that's good.
I guess from my perspective, I'd ask our council if he could take a look at that and see if he thinks we're on solid ground or
Yeah.
even your recommendation, Bob, would come very highly in my mind.
We are on solid ground. The letter that Bob has provided states that the state of Indiana is paying for all costs associated with the connections. They are saying that your county received statement of work from Central Square to begin development of an interface between your jail management system. Central Square is requesting that a representative from your county sign off on this agreement to begin work. While we need you to approve the scope of work, please be assured that the state of Indiana is paying for all costs associated with this agreement, connectivity to the project, and ongoing operation.
Okay. That speaks volumes to me, so.
Got a motion then?
That'd be a motion.
You might have to second.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Bob.
are you going to sign that, or do you want me to sign that?
I'm happy to sign it for you if you
Okay.
want to give it to Michelle. We'll
All right.
put the stack here after the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like we're past our 9:15 timeline, so we can kind of roll into our zoning things then.
You're offending Dan there, Mayor.
I've got three rezonings
You
for
don't
you
want to stick
today.
around for what you got to say.
Pardon?
No.
Okay. Robert Valley is our first one, and this is a request to rezone a tract of ground from agricultural to agricultural 2. And if I may approach, we'll throw a map at you of where we are talking about. South and west of Atwood. Easiest way to describe it, Jeff Burke lives in his business. Just down, this was our old county councilman down here to the south, had this farmer through here. We're looking at this tract of ground right here, currently zoned agricultural, exhausted all of its splits. They'd like to try and make better use of this and divide this into 2 tracts of ground. Soils are very questionable over in this area. However, there is some buildable area right in through here where they would like to try and get one more tract. Again, we're going ag to ag 2, looking at if this was maybe down here and they were chopping out a piece, looked at way differently, but this is our existing tract. Just trying to maximize the use of that there and rezone 2 agricultural 2. One more, and Planning Commission is giving you a unanimous recommendation to allow the rezoning as requested.
And I think that's the highest and best use because this is a swamp.
Okay. Okay, is there anybody here to speak in favor of this petition this morning? If you could come and state your name for the record and. Good morning.
Good morning, my name is Robert Vale. I also kind of got ahead of myself on this. I've already had a survey before we're talking about that I want to sell the 2 acres.
Yeah. Okay.
And I do have an appointment this week from a gentleman out of Granger to do a soil sample on that.
As far as for a septic, to make sure
Yeah.
that the septic would pass.
As you can tell, where I chose to sell is the least part of the flood zone. The flood zone is more north of that.
You live here
Right there.
in this house? Thank you. Any questions for him, gentlemen?
I do not have any. Thank
Okay.
you.
Anybody else here speak in favor of the petition? If not, anybody here to speak against? Hearing none, we'll close it to the public. Gentlemen, thoughts?
Make a motion that we approve the unanimous recommendation area plan.
Second.
So we got a motion of approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, the next one, report recommendation I have is in regard to petition filed by Teresa Jackson. They're requesting to rezone from, actually, I think on the agenda it's incorrect, it's residential to agricultural too. And on this particular one, we're located just off of Old US 30. For you right here. This is our subject tract of ground, zone residential right now. You can see the residential zoning all in this area here. Tom Angle, Creighton Brothers' new facility out here is where we're located. So we're west of here. And what they're wanting to do, they could go into subdividing right now zoned as residential. However, what they intend to do, agricultural too, actually fits their uses a little bit better. You can see the tract of ground, there's a residence on there now. That would be one lot, the tree line, and this would be the other lot. Because it's zoned residential, this would be non-conforming due to the size, and they'd like to go to Ag 2 and potentially residents there. And this way too, they could have agricultural animals, chickens, goats, things like that, out in that particular area. So Planning Commission, in looking at it, decided Ag 2 would fit, and they would be able to accommodate their requested needs that they're wanting to have out through there. So you're looking at potentially a 2-lot subdivision. But again, I don't know if it's correct on the agenda, but it is residential now. They're wanting to go to agricultural too.
What was the vote?
Unanimous recommendation.
Okay, anybody here to speak in favor of this petition this morning?
Morning.
Ben.
Good morning.
Ben Johnson, I'm here to talk to you guys about splitting this property in half. My grandfather died back in April. This is his property. My sister wants to purchase the house, and I'd like to purchase the pole barn, so that's the purpose of splitting the property in half.
Okay,
Very good.
thank you. Anybody else here to speak in favor of the petition this morning? Anybody to speak against? Hearing none, we'll close the meeting to the public. Gentlemen?
I'd make the motion we accept the unanimous recommendation of area plan.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay, third one and last is a report recommendation coming to you on a petition under the name of Nicely. And they're requesting to rezone from I-2, industrial to, or heavy industrial, to, or I'm sorry, light industrial, to agricultural. We're located out on Old 30, just to the west of here. And our subject tract fronts on 30 here, comes back and opens up into this larger tract of ground right in through here. So they're requesting to rezone all of this from I-2. You can see the existing I-2 around and through here. That is the driveway entrance to Donald's. When planning and zoning originally came into the county back into the early and mid-70s, the intentions were Donnelly's out there, good area for industrial out there to the west. So they opened up that whole area to industrial. Well, some of it came in, the trucking company in through here, but not a lot of it. And it never really took off too much on the north side to industrial. This is one of Creighton's fields right in through here that is zoned industrial. Fishers are wanting to go to agricultural with the intent of one home on that tract of ground. Over half of it is lowland, wetland, backwash off of the river and through there. You can see the ditch coming through. The home area would have to be right in through here. This one had a lot of discussion back and forth about the industrial, the agricultural, and what's going on in that particular area. But the bottom line was, in going to agricultural, it shouldn't interfere with any potential for that tract if it ever is developed or kept agricultural or put into light industrial uses in through there. So they decided they're giving you a unanimous recommendation to allow it to go to residential, or not residential.
Agricultural.
Agricultural, thank you. And an agricultural then could handle or could accept one home on there without any other change in zoning. So we wanted to make sure the petitioner, eyes wide open, knew potential going into the west, although it is currently used agricultural, And with that fully aware, they're getting, again, unanimous to allow it to go to agriculture.
So that they're fully aware, but does that mean that they could not remonstrate against an industrial use being put there?
Correct. That would be, they're knowing they're going in next to an industrial area, and within 50 feet of their property line could go downwards.
Right.
Okay. And that's going to be on the deed, right? They voluntarily put that on it.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
I just hate to shortchange yourself as a nice parcel of property that's primed for development, so.
Right, I mean, this obviously never gonna use.
Yeah, it's all, most of it's wetlands, so yeah. Okay, and who's here to speak in favor of this petition this morning? Please state your name for the record, if you could, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jonathan Nisley, and it's my wife's idea, not mine, to put a house back there by the river.
Right.
And I have talked to several of the Creightons, and I've talked to several people. I know there's a rumor about the fair and whatnot, and as it stands right now, that's a long way off. I had several conversations with some folks that don't believe the entirety of the fair would move out that direction, more or less the 4-H side, which we would be more than fine with. So I guess that would be our stance.
Okay,
Okay.
glad that you've had those discussions with neighboring properties owners. It's always good to know
That's
where they're
huge.
coming from.
Well, I didn't know anything about it until I came here,
Right.
whatever, 3 weeks ago or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Okay.
But yeah, we've done some
Very
due
good.
diligence since then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else here to speak in favor of the petition this morning? Okay, how about anybody here to speak against? Hearing none, we'll close it to the public. Gentlemen?
I make a motion, is it unanimous from the, okay. I'll accept their unanimous vote and vote in favor of.
Second.
So we got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Dan.
That's it.
So Dan, could this be your last?
Have you got any
meeting or no?
from Todd Keat on the
Okay,
opioid
good.
settlement?
Good. Well, I just make sure there's anything on the agenda.
Do we want to make a statement about that?
Okay, so we'll see everybody back here on August 30th, Tuesday, August 30th. So appreciate everybody coming this morning.
We want to make an announcement about the opioid settlement. Did you get that letter from the, maybe at the next meeting?
I mean, I know that Rakita has announced it, but there's still an awful lot of gray area.
Yeah. Well, he's got,
I'm not leaving it unsigned. You guys gotta
Okay.
get Mr.
Good morning. That doesn't need to be in blue or anything special, does it?
I'd love to do that.
So I need to be over here, find the grant.
The recording has stopped.
Do you know where I would need to sign there? Keep me straight here.
And we may have already had them in our stack to sign since you sent them for us, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and get those taken care of. There's that one for you. You're welcome. That one for you.
Blue pen.
Blue pen, Carrie.
Guys.
These are for everyone. Just for Carrie? Okay, I'll let you get in there.
Still had a little thing
Start
over
getting
top.
everybody around.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
My name is Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. Nice to meet you. I'm
you.
one of the commissioners.
Yes, nice to meet you.